what made you specialize in colon cancer?
Well, for me, I've worked in breast cancer and colon cancer and generally cancer in women, so I'm interested in hormones and cancer. And so it turns out that colon cancer actually has a hormonal basis, so women are less likely to get colon cancer, and they can reduce their risk of getting colon cancer by certain reproductive events and by taking hormones.
Mm-hmm.
So that seemed pretty interesting to me. And there's also a grouping of colon cancers called the Lynch syndrome, or hereditary non-polyposis colon cancer.
That's what I was studying.
Many different kinds of colon cancers, and I'll show you some slides in a minute, occur together. So both colon cancer and ovarian cancer and endometrial cancer, which is a cancer of the lining of the uterus. And so it's interesting that women, about half of the women studying colon cancer end up getting endometrial cancer. Well, you'd say, good golly, that's really not rocket science, because men don't have an endometrium,
Yeah.
they don't have a uterus, so they can't get it. But why is it that the uterus is more susceptible? So if you lined women up who had exactly the same mutation, genetic background, half of them would get endometrial cancer and only half would get colon cancer. So there's something special about that as an organ, which is completely a hormonally responsive organ. So that's an interesting finding. But more important for me, because my first, I guess it's my second epidemiologic study was on screening. And when I moved to Wisconsin, the first study that I did in Wisconsin was, and I don't know why I cooked this study up, but it was really important, and it's formed the basis of recommendations for screening for colon cancer, is that if you have a sigmoidoscopic exam, an endoscopic exam of your colon, so if you take a picture of, I hope we can get to the colon, I hope this is the right one. So if you thread a long fiber optic tube all the way through the colon, and if you see anything wrong with it, then you can treat it, you can remove it, and pretty much your survival is going to be excellent. Your survival is going to be more than 90%. Whereas if you wait until you have symptoms, then good golly, your risk of having serious consequences or even dying of your disease are much greater.
Yeah.
And so not only does that detect cancer early when you have much better survival, it also can detect precursor lesions, which are called adenomas.
Mm-hmm.
And if you find an adenoma, you remove it, and you don't even get colon cancer at all. So not only
Are
does
those polyps as well?
Right.
Considered polyps as
right.
well?
So not only does it reduce your risk of dying of colon cancer, it actually reduces your risk of ever getting colon cancer. So for me, what was so attractive about colon cancer is it has the opportunity to actually prevent cancer from ever occurring. This and cervical cancer are the most preventable cancers. So not only do you prevent cancer from being diagnosed at a late stage when it's not treatable, but you can actually prevent cancer from ever occurring. And where cervical cancer is a serious cancer, and in the across the world, in some countries it's actually the most common cancer and the most common cause of cancer death. But in developed countries, colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death for men and women.
Yeah, I studied that. I was going to ask you if it's so, like, it's easy to be cured. Why is it so common?
It's so
That's always
easy
a question that just
maybe
like...
it's not so easy to be cured if it's diagnosed at a late stage.
Yeah.
But if it's diagnosed at an early stage, it's, well, yeah, you can prevent serious consequences, but you can also actually prevent it from actually occurring.
Yeah.
But yet people don't have screening tests at the rate that would reduce the burden from having this disease. So when I think about, so I understand from Stephanie that in your family, that you had colon cancer in your family, and its presentation seemed, and if you don't want me to talk about this.
No, I do. It's fine. It's fine. I want to know, actually. I'm pretty curious about it myself.
Well, at least from what I understood from Stephanie, is that the presentation in your brother and your mother was very unusual because those individuals were so young.
Yeah, that's what I was, when I did my
s-
research, that's what I was
Right.
thinking about as well.
So for somebody like me, who's just an average risk person, the recommendation to have a screening test really doesn't start until the age of 50. So it's only among people who have that unusual family history that
Mhm.
screening is recommended at an early age. So that's why I thought it was so important to see you and to make sure that you got your care.
I got screened. I didn't necessarily get screened, but I got a blood. Once my brother passed away from it, was diagnosed with it. They did take it seriously and got me and my other siblings checked out. So we got blood. I got blood drawn from me. Me and my other brother had got blood drawn, and I think the polyps, which she was talking about, was found in my brother, and in my two older brothers, and they got those polyps removed. So but they
See, for
wasn't found in
you,
me.
well, if you just had a blood test,
Yeah.
you can't diagnose polyps from a blood test?
Yeah, see, which was why I need to get a colonoscopy, because they also got a colonoscopy. I didn't.
Right. So, and we can talk in a minute, but because your family history looks not even like this, I'll show you what your family history looks like, and I don't even